Lester Young, I think, the guy who kind of came up with the word groovy and came up with a lot of stuff.
Piano guy. No?
Oh, we're starting.
Really?
Godot didn't help at all.
No.
There on that.
No.
For
I was
groovy?
going with someone else entirely.
Okay. We'll talk later.
Brothers and sisters, welcome to Penn Sunday School starring Penn Gillette. My name is Michael Godot. Matt Donnelly, Penn and I are broadcasting from the show Creator Studios South in Las Vegas. This week, Penn Gillette opened for the famous mind noodler, Mr. Matt Donnelly, and then fucked up his own show beyond belief. USA Today announces the winners of their top 10 Vegas shows. Here he is preaching love, Mr. Penn Gillette.
Oh, yeah, I'm preaching love. You know, I took time to meditate out in the car.
Oh.
I was afraid to meditate at home because I figured I might be rushed and who knows what the traffic would be. But I got here and there was enough leeway that I sat in a hot Vegas car, you know, the kind that would kill the child or a dog.
Right.
I sat in there and I was I did my Harris, Sam Harris meditation.
Oh, that one's that's not a peaceful one. That's the one that messes with you.
Yeah, it's one of the best. Tries to drive you crazy.
Yeah.
And I usually do my mindfulness, my headspace
Right.
at night to wind down from my day.
Mm-hmm.
Then I do my Sam Harris waking up in order to ramp up, get crazy for the day. And Sam Harris, I'm very happy to say, Sam Harris, who I've mentioned on this show a million times.
Yeah.
And I've talked about waking up on this show a zillion times. I've talked about his app and how I meditate and how much it means to me. And I get a really nice note from Sam Harris saying, thank you for mentioning me on Joe Rogan's show. Making it very clear, Sam Harris does not give a good, solid, flying fuck about Penn Sunday School. But once I go on Joe Rogan, thanks, buddy. Well, thanks, you old acid head, too. I appreciate it so much. I guess because, peoples whose souls have been psychedelicized stick together. By the way, Joe Rogan, every person on planet Earth listens to Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Every person on planet Earth. It is incredible. I think we're getting as many people coming to our show from Joe Rogan as we ever did Celebrity Apprentice.
Yes, I agree.
It's amazing. It's really great.
Yeah.
And I also love that conversation with Joe. I love that it was very different than Celebrity Apprentice.
Yeah.
But we were talking. Here's something
Let's hope that you are a kingmaker and that Joe Rogan is now moving up the political ranks.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice? President Rogan? That'd be really cool. Yeah, really cool. Just trying to, talking to North Korea going, let's try some acid.
I have this cabinet over here.
Yeah. I'll just open it right up. I don't know why I have Joe Rogan sound like Jack Nicholson, because Joe Rogan sounds nothing like Jack Nicholson.
Here's Joe Rogan.
So Lester Young, the sax player, I don't know if he's the one that invented the word groovy, but he did invent a lot of groovy speech. And there's something that he is purported to have said that I always want to say, and I think it would hurt people's feelings. But when someone came up to him during a jazz show, and said, I really dig you, and tried to get an autograph or something, Lester Young said, I don't dig being dug when I'm digging. Pretty great. And I always want to say that when someone comes up during an artistic event to talk to me. But I always think that it wouldn't come off as, wow, isn't it great he got to use that Lester Young thing? It would come off as, what a dick.
What a pompous asshole.
Yeah. But just let you know, if someone comes up while something's going on and recognizes me and says, I know about Lester Young, I really dig you, I will then be able to say, you'll be able to give me a dream come true. And then I'll forget about that. And then
Penn.
you will come up.
Hi, Penn. I love this band. I know who Lester Young is, and I really love the Penn and Teller show.
Yeah. Hey, I don't dig being dug when I'm digging, man. Would that sound cool? Would that sound cool? So I was meditating out in the car with my good friend Sam Harris, who knows nothing about this show.
Right.
Nothing about this show.
That's probably good.
Fuck him in the neck and his podcast. But I do I want to get Sam Harris on our podcast.
Yes.
I want to get him on. I also want to do
We don't even have to tell him it's a podcast.
No.
Now. Just sit and chat with him.
Just sit chat with him. Yeah. Well, tell him it's Joe Rogan's show.
Yeah.
He'll be all
It's
excited.
a special spot for Joe's.
Very
We're doing a satellite interview for Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's here. He's just on acid. So we got a lot to talk about.
We do.
I have my my iPad, brand new iPad.
Yeah.
But I went and showed to Piff, and I told Piff that Teller had said, "Don't even tell him you got one. Just wait till he." and Piff said, "Oh, that tells us so much about Teller, that he's constantly scheming. Wait till he sees this." And then you go, "You got a new iPad." But I do not have the iPhone 11 Pro Max.
What has happened?
I had it on Friday in the nice dark green with one, I think 1 T
Wow. Really?
of storage. Yeah, it was beautiful. Except now, get this: we're not going to talk tech problems here. Yes, we are.
This is why people tune in.
He said I had the iPhone X.
Yeah.
Right. And I loved it.
I saw it.
And then 5 days. No, that's the X, not the 11. You saw that one too.
Yeah.
5 days before the new one came out, as is the planned obsolescence of the Apple Corporation, my face recognition stopped working.
Right.
Now, before you say stupid shit that everybody said to me, like, "Oh, were you backlit? Oh, it's infrared, you idiot." But I went in every possible configuration of where I could be. I even put clothes on, see if that would change it, and it would not even go to set it up. It just was deeply fucked, right? Deeply fucked. And I said to myself, I could get this fixed, but it's 5 days.
Yeah.
5 days of punching the code, then I'll have a brand new iPhone. So the new iPhone came in, iPhone 11 Pro Max, with all sorts of shit I don't need. It's for professional photographers. I take a photograph once a week.
Yeah.
I don't take
Now
photographs.
they look great.
Now
though.
they look great. Sure. I mean, if you ever want a dick pic, I'm here for you. And I have telephoto. And so I.
Portrait mode really makes it stunning.
It does. It pixelizes the background. So you can't see the toilet in the mirror behind you. And I sync them, right? And I'm
Right.
setting
New
up.
and old one, yeah.
Yeah, the new and the old one. So I get my 11, and I go to set up face recognition. Same problem as the old one.
Oh, no.
It moved it across. And then my computer
imported
guy,
the
Jeffrey,
problem.
who's wonderful, used to be Steve Jobs' Apple guy, did his personal stuff. Good guy. He says to me, "Oh, this is not a software problem. It is obviously a glitch in the hardware." I go, "Yeah, that happened on 2 phones. That's like Neil Young's children both having the same problem. Not a chance of it happening." Okay.
I don't want to know this story, but are you a vampire? Did you become a vampire?
I don't know what it is. So now it's being fixed, and I have here my new iPad, which is working beautifully.
Yeah.
Which
Can
is
you make
working.
a call on it?
I can. I
That's
can do
good
FaceTime.
news.
Yeah.
So at least you're not trapped without a phone.
I get the
tonight.
cellular stuff on this. So I don't know what that could be. But right now, Jeffrey, my computer guy, is on it. He is on it. He's taking both phones to the Apple Center. And he's going to find out
where they won't let you make an appointment anymore. He's going to go stand there all day.
get to the bottom of it. Well, we have an in with the guy.
Well, you know, a lot of magicians tend to work there, so we all kind of have an in there.
Yeah, you're right. That's why there's so many of those Apple tricks, right, Matt?
Yes.
There's tricks you can do that are built into the Apple phone.
I don't
right, Matt?
understand why you're bringing that up with me specifically.
Oh, yeah, you don't, huh? Okay, so
I
you
came up
did
with
your
A
show.
very clever line that only makes people give me iPhones. No one knows because it's a filthy joke.
Friday night,
Yes.
you did the Mind Noodler.
Yes.
At Show Creator Studio.
Yes.
And at Show Creator Studio, I was going to open for you.
Yeah.
I was going to open for you with a trick that is not ready yet.
Right.
Because what else would I do for your crowd?
What's that? People are like, Matt, why are you throwing a show while Life is Beautiful is doing an iHeartRadio festival, or two of the greatest, hugest festivals that Las Vegas hosts are launching on the same day.
And the attack on Area 51.
And the attack on Area 51. And you threw a magic show together at some show creators' little warehouse space?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because the amount of people that came were the exact amount of people I wanted to come.
Yeah. Also, I got to tell you, Matt, if nothing else were happening in Vegas, that's the same amount of people you would have had.
I think so.
Precisely.
I think so.
If they had constantly said, oh, by the way, tonight in Las Vegas, there's no entertainment at all.
Yeah.
Everyone's shut down.
Yeah.
40 people would have been in that warehouse. And it was nice. It's really, really nice.
Yeah.
And I also, I got several things to talk about, but one is my daughter.
Yes.
Which was crazy. It was crazy. She's backstage. Yeah. Now Moxie was Volterra on Fool Us. She did very, very well. She also takes magic at her camp. Right. She is the last youngest student of Johnny Thompson. Mm-hmm. And she works on magic, a little bit of artistry and so on. Not a lot. She's not like obsessive, but she does a little magic now and again. And, she'll do magic, I think, for the boys at lunch and so on. And so she's backstage, and Matt has a deck of cards, and Moxie does a trick for you, right?
Yeah. And
then Matt says, why don't you go out and open? Why don't you go out and do some magic for the 40 people that are out there? And Moxie goes, oh, should I? I go, sure. And I'm not paying any attention, really, because I'm setting my props for my stupid trick. And then Moxie walks out, and Matt walks out. And I hear some applause and laughter and stuff in the other room, but I'm not thinking that. I said, well, Matt's doing some jokes and stuff. And then Mox comes back in, and she'd just done 5 minutes and killed. Yeah. Killed. And I couldn't believe I missed it. Proud father. And I text Emily, and she drives crazy from Life is Beautiful over to get there, but she's missed it. And Moxie goes, I'll go out and do another hunk.
Yeah.
She goes out and does another hunk. And she goes out and she kills. And I sent the video, the second one we had video of. Yeah. I sent that to Teller, and Teller said she's doing real sleights. These are not like self-working children tricks. She's doing real sleights, and she has this kind of authority on stage. She's still just narrating what she's doing. There's not another level of pattern.
Many magicians never progress beyond that.
That's true.
You should be aware.
I'm taking the card now and putting it in the deck. She's doing that. That's her pattern.
Yeah.
But she's really good. So then I came out, and my opening was to try to remember Flea's father's name. You know Flea's father's name?
No idea.
Flea's father is a jazz musician. I don't know what he plays.
I know who does.
I thought he played trumpet, but I don't know. He plays something. But there was a show where the Red Hot Chili Peppers played.
Mick Balzery.
And what does he play?
I don't see that. Sorry. I'll get to it.
What do you mean? It would say Mick Balzery plays trumpet, or maybe he plays bass. Wouldn't that be great? I don't know. Anyway, he is a jazz musician, Mick is. And the Chili Peppers went out and did their show and killed, and then Flea brought his father out, and his father played a couple songs and tanked. So I said, let's all think about Flea's father now that my daughter's come out and killed, and now her father's coming on, and he's going to be about as good as Flea's father. And I did my trick. And Matt, what'd you think of my trick?
Oh, I love it.
Okay, that's very good, because we're going to talk about your act after.
Oh, no. No, I mean, I like it because it's a comedic rope routine, and you have a tremendous advantage with your height to accomplishing this trick.
Yeah, it is. It is. The height helps. The height helps a lot. It's a thing called over your head.
Yeah.
And I forgot I should know the magician's name. This
you
is
did the other night.
I did.
Yeah.
It's not my routine, but Mike Close from Fool Us.
Yeah.
Magic expert brought it to me and said, I think this would be good in your mouth. But I fucked up a couple things. And Moxie.
I thought you were going to say that Moxie had actually done the trick you were going to do.
No, although that was done.
That did happen.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But Moxie said, as you know, I think this, one of the reasons I wanted to have children, one of the major reasons, one
Take
of the
the
things.
trash out.
Yeah.
Labor.
Yeah, that's good.
Tim Jennison of
Yeah.
Tim's Vermeer has 3 daughters. And his youngest daughter, Claire, I just adore her. I love all his daughters. The daughters are wonderful.
But really clear.
Lauren, Natalie, and Claire, in that order of age. Claire's the youngest, and Claire is just—they're all of them are brilliant. There might be some of this genetics thing. They're all brilliant. They're all just perfect. Well, they're now adults, perfect. But when Claire was 9 years old, she was driving in the car with Tim, and Tim was driving, listening to the radio, and they stopped at a light, and Tim was banging on the steering wheel and dancing along with the radio and singing. And Claire said to him, "Dad, you think you're so cool, but you're just fat." And when Tim told me that, I just said, I've got to have children. That is just so glorious. The amount of love in that, the amount of intimacy in that is just something I was missing in my life.
Yeah.
So I finished my trick, and one of the props I dropped on the floor.
Yeah.
That ruins the whole thing. And another thing popped out of my hand when it was palmed.
Yeah.
So 2 major beginner mistakes, dilettante mistakes.
Yeah.
And I said to Moxie, what'd you think of after I praised her for her, she said, "Whoa, you really fucked that up, Gillette." You really fucked that up, Gillette. That was her comment.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you really fucked that up, Gillette. There you go.
Right on schedule.
That's my daughter. Now, there was something
Your dream
weird.
has come true.
Yeah, it has, absolutely. There's something really weird happening in magic, and it seems contrary to what Fool Us is all about. But it might be directly what Fool Us is all about. It may be that by being the opposite, it's actually the same. Little grasshopper.
Whoa.
There was a feeling there.
You did listen to Sam Harris in the car.
I did, yeah. There was a feeling with those 40 people
Yeah.
that they were watching magic in a very different way than I've seen it watched before.
Yeah.
Doesn't Jeff McBride do Wonderground or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have either of you been there?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it has this vibe too. I don't know. But there was this vibe where I used to feel like when I read about, I guess I never really experienced it, but I read about like hootenannies. I'm a little bit too young for that, but New York City, like Gertie's Folk City and stuff, where they'd hang guitars around and people would do it. People knew the songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They knew the chords.
Right.
They knew all about it, and they'd pass it around, and they were watching for different stuff. Really for different stuff
Right.
than a regular show business crowd. There was a salon type thing. Well, Matt came out and did a trick, a supposedly lie detector trick with a card.
That
where
weasel.
You say yes to everything I say, and I'll tell you what card it is. It's a black card, a red card.
Yes.
You say yes to both, and then it goes on, and he still knows the card because he's reading you. And he does little improvisational things on. There was a little bit more pause before the no. And then RJ came out a little later, and he hadn't seen Matt do that. And he did precisely the same plot, slightly different method, but precisely the same plot. Strangely enough, instead of having them say yes, because Matt's an improv guy, he had them say no, because he's a Cirque guy. So did the precise same trick.
Yeah.
And the audience response was not like, hey, what's going on? But just like, okay. And it was really, really nice. And then Matt taught the early people who were in, taught them how to do a force.
Yeah.
And then a force was used later. And I just thought there might be something happening in magic, kind of like when we did the movie The Aristocrats, where it's really, there was a little bit of a feel like it was the singer, not the song.
Nice.
Now let's talk about your hunk. I fucked up one trick.
Yeah.
You fucked up two.
Yep.
And the one I really wanted to see was one that you fucked up.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But you asked me afterwards if I had any comments.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let's save them for when we're on the radio.
That's so nice of you.
My comment to you is the same comment that Teller, Johnny, and I both gave to Piff a few years ago, and he really took to heart. And that is, as you're getting your character perfect, and as you're getting your premises really good, and as you're getting your jokes really good, make sure you remember you're doing a magic show.
Yeah.
Make sure you remember that. And I just mean closed doors. There were a couple of tricks you did where the tricks were perfect, but you didn't remind people what was amazing about them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I almost mean, and Johnny used to remind me of this all the time.
Right.
And Johnny, right up until the day he died,
Yeah.
I mean, literally was saying, Penn, close the doors, close the doors, close the fucking doors, close the doors. And I'd always forget that. I say, well, you know, they know we didn't do this. They know we didn't do this. They know it's impossible, but I wouldn't close the doors.
Yeah.
I would trust them to do the work.
Can you give us an example?
Yeah. You had a free choice of cards, right? You shuffled the cards beforehand, right? I didn't look at the deck. Is that right? That deck's been in your hands the whole time. Is that right? Boom. They do your punchline.
Sure.
Close the doors. Because all of that might be true. Of course, when you close the doors, you also close doors that are really open. But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been a 10-minute process, and they perhaps have not paid that much attention.
Yeah. So you go back and say, I could have known this. I couldn't have known this.
Yeah. I don't do that. And also, I think right now...
And you know, the problem is because you automatically think it's hack.
Yes.
You go, I don't want to underline that. It makes it like I care about the trick too much, which is you don't want to do. You just got to find a way to close the doors artistically.
Only right now, as you started giving those examples, I was like, oh, you know what happens there is you build tension, and that helps.
Yeah. But it's also, so when they look back on the trick, they know that it really is a trick.
Yeah.
So you know, for instance, so let's see where we are now. You looked at somebody's picture that wasn't you on your phone.
Yeah.
And you estimated their weight.
Yeah.
And I said you were a little off and wrote it down here. Yeah. Then you picked someone in the audience. I didn't pick them.
Yeah.
And you estimated their weight. I didn't tell you what weight to estimate, but you estimated that weight. And then you rode me around like a pony, which I enjoyed a little more than I should have. And then you estimated my weight so kindly because I put that into your head. But these three weights I could not have known in advance. Is that right? And yet on my chest, where I could not have touched it, I've not been off stage. I've not taken down my overalls once. Sadly. But now I will show you this piece of tape. Yeah. What's the final number?
Ah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then people have got, man, he's funny. Man, he's great. But God damn, that's a good trick. And we weren't sure. We don't really remember exactly where those numbers came from.
Yeah.
We didn't really remember exactly that she had done them. She had done the estimate, that you'd written it down. And even though it's all there, and you can say when you look through your notes on that trick, you look through your notes and go, oh, yeah, she picked the person. She did that. She did that. This is a good trick. This is a good trick. They know all that. Remember, they're not looking at notes.
You're right.
And the funnier you are, the less likely they are to remember that. And also, you can notice when I'm saying this, you also put a spin in so they remember it the way you want them to.
Yep.
Yes.
Really nice.
I do.
Really nice.
I like that a lot.
Close the fucking doors.
No, I need to work on it big time. No, because I was frustrated after the show because messing up the little tricks that I did caused me to be a little sloppy with my language on other stuff, and other tricks didn't hit. And I knew like that's what's beautiful and frustrating about magic is if all of a sudden the sentence comes out of your mouth just a little differently, you sometimes take the edge off of the payoff.
Yeah,
and
shoot yourself in the foot real easy.
And people go like, and it ends with like a oh instead of like wow, you know, and like. And those little things that I've gotten better at as I've been practicing for the last couple of years, it's exciting to have that and to know that, you know. Even on my best shows, people come up to me being like, that's really fucking funny. And the magic is, yeah, you do some magic too. You know, like it's like the magic is like this extra thing, and which drives me crazy. So even after that show, people who hadn't seen my act before come up being like, holy shit, this is what you've been doing for the last couple of years? Amazing stuff. And in my head, I'm going like, no, you don't know. You know, like,
well, you know, that's why you look at Mac King.
Yeah.
Because Matt King, you can say to people, how was the magic?
Yeah.
And they'll say, some of the best magic I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And you say, how was the comedy? One of the funniest guys I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And they never answer the questions crossed.
No.
It's not like when you say, did you see my jazz set? And they say, yeah, you looked really good.
And some people like almost,
like the new hair.
friends sympathetically being like, but you're so funny. That's why people come to see you. Why you shouldn't be upset about magic? And I and I said like kind of like brazenly, but I'm like, it's the only thing I'm working on.
Yeah.
Like I of course I'm very comfortable and confident joking around with people in an audience.
And I feel comfortable telling you this because I'm about to tell you a story what I did in front of, let me see, 10, 20, 30 times the number of people. 30 times. Almost squared what you had. But first, let me tell you about this because I'm doing this.
Let's close some doors.
I'm doing this. I'm actually doing this. I have signed up for BetterHelp.
Okay.
I have not because I'm against it, but just because I haven't had time and it hasn't been a priority, I have not gone to a shrink.
Right.
And I have things in my life that I could work on and things that friends aren't qualified and also don't have the time. You want to be out with friends, make a joke, talk about heavy stuff, but not necessarily talk about your problems. Is there something that interferes with your happiness or is preventing you from achieving your goals? BetterHelp Online Counseling is there for you. Connect with your professional counselor in a safe and private online environment. It's so convenient. You can now get help on your own time at your own pace. You can schedule secure video or phone sessions, plus chat and text with your therapist. Licensed professional counselors who are specialized in depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LGBT matters, grief, and self-esteem. Anything you share is confidential. If you're not happy with your counselor for any reason, you can request a new one anytime, no additional charge. 3,000 U.S. licensed therapists across all 50 states, available worldwide. 4 communication modes: text, chat, phone, and video. Start communicating under 24 hours. That's true. So I signed up and it said, why are you seeking therapy? And I put, well, frankly, I do a podcast, right?
Yeah.
On Penn Sunday School, and I'm going to advertise. And although this seems really good on paper, I thought I could talk about it better if I was doing this.
Experience.
That's one of the reasons. And I also filled out their checklist of things I wanted to work on, which I will work on in private, which will be kept private, but I won't talk about that there. And my therapist, they lined you up with one that had the specialties of what we were. And I got a thing from my therapist said, I was very hesitant to take this. Please be kind to me. Because I'm going to talk about it on the show. So far, I'm not going to say her name.
They're going to ask for privacy.
Exactly.
Wait, don't we have some kind of client privilege thing? Can you shut up?
Professional, affordable, secure. It's not a crisis line. If you get a crisis, you call 911. But this is for really working on stuff. Best of all, it's truly affordable. Penn Sunday School listeners get 10% off your first month with discount code
Penn.
So why not get started today? Go to BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Penn. BetterHelp.com/Penn. Simply fill out a questionnaire to help them access your needs and get matched with a counselor you'll love. That's BetterHelp.com/Penn. Yeah. I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Flea's dad, the reason I couldn't find what instrument he played is because he didn't play an instrument.
Ever. I made that story up.
But his stepdad played double bass.
Okay, so was bass player.
Walter Urban Jr.
And he did play after the Chili Peppers one show.
Yeah.
Or did I make that up?
He played with him on something.
Okay, good. And people were disappointed. That's my only point. And he played the dog.
As long as we're going back and correct it, I think it's Slim Gaylord who started the word.
Yeah, Slim Gaylord and Lester Young were two of the guys that did a lot of the jive talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Slim Gaylord.
Well, that's the one that I know.
Slim Gaylord played bass, right?
Yeah.
No, it was slap. Right? Who was played with Slim? Wasn't it Slim and Slap? Anyway, I was on stage.
I thought you would like this line from his resume that I'm looking at.
Okay.
Also played with, quote, Flea, unquote, of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, because he's my son.
That's very sweet. Very, very sweet. I also love that's in quotations. I love when names are in quotations. So we got this new bit in the show, Forgery.
Yeah.
Which, you get it in your head. Robbie says to me backstage all the time about our show. He says to me, I never know how you know it's going to be good.
Right.
He said, that's the big mystery with you. He said, you go out with stuff that I can't tell is going to be good. And then a few months later, it's great. I don't know how you know in advance. So the problem is you go out the first time with Forgery and you do things right. And the audience likes it.
Well, you're amped up.
But you're amped up. So they can't possibly like it enough.
Yeah.
They can't possibly like it enough because you're competing with yourself. They haven't liked it as much as the bit before that you've been doing, thousands of times. So they go, yeah, that was good. And you want them to go, wow. Okay. So we'd done it once Wednesday night, and the whole trick worked, and everything was nice and clean. And I got the premise across, and the audience understood the premise. So they understood the premise, and it was a good trick. And then there wasn't the kind of Penn and Teller working together, one thought thing going on. That won't come for a long while. I didn't have all the lines in, and they weren't lined up, and our timing was off. But it was good. People liked it. Then I went back on Saturday. And all Saturday day I was thinking, well, there's this move I do. And it's the most important move I do in the bit, maybe the most important move in the bit. And what I'm saying during it is a little bit sloppy, not really my style. So all day I worked on what I was going to say. And by worked, I mean, while I'm driving, I'm thinking about it, running it over in my head. Oh, yeah, I could do this. Yeah, that'll tie in there. That's good. I'll do this. And I ran it a few times. And backstage, I ran it again in my head. And it came time to do the show. We came to that moment in the show. And I did the patter perfectly. I mean, it was dead on. And the patter was really, really good. And I did the patter. And then as I finished the patter, that whole section was good and really smooth and nothing was noticed and it was absolutely invisible. I realized I hadn't fucked up the move. I hadn't done the move. Just hadn't done it. All my movements were very, very natural because they were. I hadn't done any magic trick at all. So we were set up for none of the trick. It was just not going to work. Right? I did nothing. The pattern was perfect. It was really smooth. My acting was perfect. Everything was wonderful. I did do the trick. So I realized it because the guy kind of pointed it out to me because there was something that he could see.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, give me that.
40 years of magic.
Good cover.
Master of comedy.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Give me that.
Give me that. I meant to do this. That's what I said. That was my cover. And the thing is that my confidence from doing the talking without the move and my happiness with how that had gone carried through, and the bit was much better than Wednesday night. And I went back, Teller is busy doing his stuff.
Yeah.
I went backstage, and I never talked to Teller after the show, never. But I stopped after his dressing. I usually, I sometimes wave, but never more. We really sometimes we will not see each other except on stage for the whole show.
Right.
Don't see him before the show. I mean, sometimes a wave before we go on, but sometimes not. And don't talk to him after the show. He's sometimes gone after I'm done signing autographs. Never even see him. But I stopped by his dressing room and said, I didn't do the move. And he said, what? I said, I didn't do it. He said, was it real magic? I said, no. When I said, give me that, he said, yeah, well, what was that? I said, I didn't do the move, and I took it back and then did the move. He went, you just said, give me that? I said, yeah. He said, you didn't do the move? I said, no. He said, well, that's what we've been working on. You just decided not to do it. I said, correct. I didn't really decide. I just didn't do it. And then I said, give me that. And he said, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll maybe better tomorrow night. But that was that's the tight genius.
I was doing a show at Astroworld with a magician named Dexion. A friend of mine. Dexion. And one of Dexion's tricks was that he had a little cylinder and he put an egg on it, and then he could stand on the egg. And then he would hop down and he would pick up that egg, and placed in the cylinder underneath it was the hidden egg. And he was standing on a wooden one, right? Obviously, right? So he took it out and tossed apparently the egg into a glass jar where it would break, and he would, to prove how real it was. We're standing in the wings, and he looks over at me as he's standing on the egg. He's standing looking at the audience. He looks at me in the wings and says, I forgot the egg. I went, oh no. And he hopped down and picked up the wooden egg and tossed it into the glass thing that like to break it. Yeah. And it just went clank, 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 clank. And he said, believe. And shook it. Clank, 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 believe. Clank, 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 clank. I just like that commitment.
Give me that.
Yeah, exactly. If he'd had an egg, if I'd had one on the wings, he would have said, give me that. But that was a great level of commitment.
Believe.
I'm going to do it anyway, just like it were real.
I remember, now that if you haven't seen my trick on Fools, you know this trick where I have prediction duct tape on my chest. Yeah. So resetting for 2 shows, I reset everything except retaping my chest, and I was halfway through my finale trick opening for Piff when I realized I had absolutely nothing on my chest.
Showbiz can go poorly.
So I quickly grabbed a piece of paper, and I was like, wait, before you hit equals, let me write my prediction on this piece of paper. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, things can go
Showbiz.
Things can go bad. Things can go bad. So that was that's the show, and we'll do it again tonight.
I'm gonna try again,
and I will tell the audience that last night it did not go well. I will fill them in. I will give them the 411.
Did you like working on new stuff in our little casual environment?
I do. I love that. I love that.
I think I want to keep doing that.
I think I would do that all the time. Yeah.
And I like Mox doing it too. I hope she wants to come out.
Oh yeah, she was so good. Yeah, she had a great time. Well, her trick went right.
Yeah. She was the most successful magician of the night.
Yeah, she was. She was. I neglected to tell her that I didn't do the move in the show.
Oh.
I had to go pick her up last night. She was doing a sleepover at a friend's house, and the friend had a cat that licked her face.
Oh, no.
And she has allergies. Yeah. So she had her eyes puffed up and couldn't see. So Dad jumped in the Tesla at 1 a.m., undressed, and grabbed some Benadryl, some water, headed over to the house and picked her up. Said, get that Benadryl in you. And we came home and had a snack. It was really, really nice. Those are the wonderful times with your children.
Yeah, well, 1 a.m. I was...
Yeah, what's that?
At 1 a.m. I was locked out of my house. I had flown back from North Carolina last night, and my family had locked all the doors and windows to the house, and I couldn't get back in. And my wife's, as you know, a nurse, and she's got a 12-and-a-half-hour shift coming up. She's got to get up at 5 a.m., so I don't want to wake her up because she doesn't fall back asleep easily. So I'm banging on my son's window with a stick.
Wilma!
Get up. And he's furious. Why are you waking me up? I'm locked out of the house. Yeah, but why are you waking me up? I'm locked out of the house. You don't have to wake me up. Yeah, I have to wake you up. I'm locked out of the house. He's not angry. He's not happy.
Did he go back to sleep right away?
He did finally. Yeah, he's fine. Yeah.
He had no problem.
No.
So in Orlando, at the Genie convention, which is 2 weeks from now or something? Maybe 2 weeks from Thursday, maybe. maybe 1 week
Orlando?
from Thursday. Yeah. The Orlando Genie Convention. Piff and Pop are making an appearance. Piff and Pop are going to do their magic shop for the other magicians.
Oh, man.
And Piff said, magicians don't like Piff the Magic Dragon. I hate doing magic conventions. And I said, it's okay. Your pop will be there. And Piff said, what trick are we going to do? And I said, we're not going to do any tricks. We're going to piss off every magician in the room.
Are we doing this on air?
We're not going to tell what it is.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to say that we're going to do that. I'm not going to explain what the trick is, but I will say that I'm going to be calling David Copperfield and getting some tips on how I could piss off certain magicians. And we're going to go in there in our dragon suits. I figure it's kind of a classic thing, right? The court jester can say things no one else can say because he's in a silly suit. What could be better than being in dragon suits and pissing off every magician in Orlando, which will be a lot of magicians in Orlando. Yeah. And we have also recruited Handsome Jack to help us write and produce. And I'll get David Copperfield involved, and we will give them a show that they will remember and talk about in Orlando. Piff and I were over at Samba Latte. We go to two places. We go to Samba Latte and we go to Madhouse Coffee.
Yeah. Both are great.
I love Madhouse Coffee.
Madhouse is good.
But Madhouse Coffee is sometimes a little bit loud.
Yeah.
And so we went to Samba Latte, which is a little quieter. But I love, Teller and I went to Madhouse, and I love it. So it's Marco who owns Madhouse. And I love it because Marco owns it 100%. It's not a franchise. It's not a chain. Madhouse Coffee, Marco owns it. And it's on, there's another one, but he doesn't own it.
Two of them, yeah.
Yeah, but the other one he doesn't own. He sold
Really?
it. Right, he doesn't own it. It's the one on Desert Inn and Durango.
Yeah.
Desert and Durango is the real
There's one up
Madhouse
near
Coffee.
your house.
Yeah. And I love Marco at Madhouse. And Piff and I have this fun going to Madhouse Coffee. And if you do it, you'll enjoy this too. It's a fun game. Go in and order whatever you want for your regular order, but make it 2 or 3 things. Don't make it one thing.
Right.
Okay? And write down what you've ordered and how much it cost you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then go in another day, another shift, and read out the exact same thing you ordered, and your total will be different. Piff and I order the same thing every time. We order 2 double shots of decaffeinated espresso and 2 sparkling waters. So we have our sparkling water and our espresso, very, very Italian. And we sit there drinking that. And we always say to each other, what did you pay? And the variation is 40%. 40% variation. And it always makes us laugh. And one time it was so far off, Piff said, that's a lot different price than we usually pay. And they said, does it seem too much? And Piff said, yeah, they just gave another price. So I said to Marco, we love coming in here because the prices are always different. He said, I hire people based on how happy they are. He said, that's all I care about. I said, well, it's really true. The people that work here are the happiest baristas in the world. He said, yeah, so if they screw up on the math, I said, but every time? And they have computers in front of them and they're just hitting the buttons. He goes, I don't care. But he also has, very, very provocative art on the wall.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And he sells, chocolate cocks.
Yeah.
He does, he has
From
like
Bruges,
Trump naked.
Yeah.
He just does whatever he wants. It's one of the greatest places on earth. And so
very good cappuccino.
Very good. Very good. Very good espresso. Very, very good. Yeah. And Pip was doing an ad for a kind of espresso and he brought it in. This is a bag of espresso beans that I'm going to be doing an advertisement for. And Marco said, let's grind it up and roast it up for you. And let's have some together. And he tasted it and then started talking about it like, he knows coffee. I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Like a sommelier, but for coffee people.
Yeah, you do everything. The taste of chocolate, and there's notes of this and notes of that. And said to Piff, just say this stuff and they'll think you know coffee. Piff said, thanks. We were at Samba Latte laughing so hard over what we're going to do in Orlando. I mean, really, really laughing, squealing, screaming. It's a pretty funny idea. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
And we got other stuff to talk about. We want to talk about, no, the most important thing. I don't know why I was saying that. I should have led with this. Dan Sperry.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Sperry, one of my favorite acts on all of Fool Us, present company excluded. I love Dan Sperry. If you remember him, he's the one that put a quarter in his eye and then cut open his stomach.
Yeah.
He was the one that was wearing a bra. Dan Sperry is exactly what you want out of show business. Biff and I were talking about this. He is mild-mannered, polite, sweet, professional off stage. Yes. And on stage, he's a scary fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just wouldn't want to be in a room with him when he's on stage. He just terrified Allison. And when we're doing our shows, we show him in the clip to ramp the audience up. That's how good he is.
Yeah.
That's the clip we show. We show his whole bit on there. Dan Sperry, I don't know him personally. I just saw him on the show.
I've worked with him a few times. He's a nice guy. Really good.
Really, really, really great act. And like Alice Cooper, polite, kind backstage, then on stage, your nightmare. Marilyn's like that. I mean, Manson's like that.
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson's like that too. And that's the way you want to be. There are some people who are the opposite.
Yes.
They're nice on stage and they're dicks backstage. But Dan Sperry is perfect. And Dan Sperry got fucked over. He got robbed.
Somebody broke into his warehouse.
Yeah, tell the story.
Yeah, somebody broke into his warehouse and stole a lot of his props and his van. And so he's unable to work currently.
So what can we do to help him?
Watch for magic props on sale. I don't know. It's posted on Facebook. You can track down Dan Sperry. He's got pictures of some of the stuff.
Dan Sperry, Sperry.
Yeah.
Look him up on Fool Us. Watch his routine. It's fabulous. Go to Facebook. Check out Dan Sperry. Look for these props. Look for his van. This bothers me so much. We had giant cards built out of steel that we did for the forklift trick on Letterman, and we used to do over at Bally's.
Yeah.
Someone broke into our warehouse and stole them. Probably sold them for scrap metal.
Right, yeah.
Worth a lot of money. But Jesus, worth much more to put them together and much harder. So yes.
Okay, here's a little bit more. It's a dark 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee. That's the car that they were in when they came in. So we have a little bit more info.
Yeah.
It's coming in. Information is coming in.
So if you can help out Dan Sperry, we'll help him out. Is he doing a crowdfunding thing or anything yet?
It isn't announced yet, but we'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah. If you can help out Dan Sperry, he really is. He's I don't know him personally, and I'm poorer for that, but a great act. One of the best we had at Fool Us.
The van is a white 2001 Ford Econoline Super Duty.
Yeah, so it's a kidnap the children van.
It took like sentimental things like his Lance Burton Award and stuff. It's really just gut wrenching.
Oh, that's horrible. And what props does he have that you want to steal? A fake blood?
Yeah.
A bra?
Well, they took some of his tools, his drill bits and audio, things like that.
Oh, Christ. And the van. Okay, well, help out, Dan Sperry. And that was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
Cha-cha-cha.
And to our listening
You become
ears,
naked.
and round us rang the music of the sea.
Now, did someone write in and say, I know what the face recognition problem is on both of those phones?
No.
Thank you. I thought maybe someone would go, oh, by the way, we listen. Like everyone in North Carolina, right?
Yeah, everyone in North Carolina. I just did a show down there, and everyone at the theater, all the stage hands, all those folks were all listening to the podcast.
We love North Carolina.
I was so pleased.
Send my love out to Clay Aiken and all the rest of you. I love you.